There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welcome to Caneswear.
New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
We are live Tuesday night, 7 p.m. I am Sean Stanley. That gentleman down there is awake and on time. He's Frankie Fresco. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, sir? I did not go drinking. I did not pull a Justin Timberlake where I got pulled over or anything like that. So I'm wide awake today.
Hey, you're not saying bye, bye, bye. Yes, you're here. I like it. We already got the chat jumping. Cap for Life's in. My dad's in as always. Frankie Fresco's in there as well. Keeping the chat going. Got the fingers rolling. No Doubt is in. Josh, Terry. If you're following us on X, please remember you can always jump over to the YouTube channel, Stanley Media House Network, and also Frankie Fresco. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button for us. Help us out. And not a lot going on lately in the wrestling world. I mean, this is going to be probably like, what, a 10, 15-minute show, I think. I think we'll get through everything in about 10, 15 minutes.
Not in the AEW world. The AEW world is just falling behind again, goddammit.
You know, let's go AEW first, because it'll probably take us.
We're gonna lose all our viewers.
No, I'm kidding. All right, we're gonna start first with probably the last thing a lot of people saw, and we're gonna dive back into Clash of the Castle, and we're gonna get all that. But last night, as Raw goes off the air, Jey Uso's yeeting all over the place. Pat McAfee, there's yeet flying everywhere, and then the lights start cutting off. And then it is the eerie sound that we're used to, a la the great Bray Wyatt, rest in peace. And if he's looking down, I'm going to give away my little bit of it. I think he was smiling with how that turned out last night. And again, and I know what, the legacy and everything, and we'll see where it goes from here. But last night, I felt they nailed it, especially Nikki Cross crawling out. The first thing you see, she crawls right up to the lantern. Then she stands up and points to the back. And the camera, and again, it good camera work. Last night, I kind of messed up on my tweet because I was like, great camera shots, but it wasn't great. It was a camera shot. It was the same camera that went all the way through. It was one full camera shot the whole time. They didn't really change. It was the one guy going through and the camera shifting around, watching everything. For you, Frankie, that I'm going to stop it right there. And everybody in the chat, please jump in. If you're watching us on X, send it in. We can see the comments here if you're watching us on X, and we appreciate you there. What was your feeling when you started hearing the music? The lights started clicking off. Because again, it was about 56, 57. They went up right to like you're like, okay, well, maybe they said they were going to do it. And it was getting closer and closer. And you're like, okay, well, maybe we'll see what happens. And then click, it starts cutting off. What went through your head?
I mean, the only thing that I'd say that they kind of messed up on, in my opinion, and if it's okay with you, I want to share this. This is the only thing I think they did a mistake.
Listen, we are allowed to sit and I got another rant later. Go ahead.
Here it is. This is what I think that they messed up on. There it is, sir. They messed it up right there. They forgot to bring in my dog right there. You see him? You see him right there on the left? They forgot to bring my dog right there. That's the only thing they messed up on. That's everything else they got.
I thought you were going to be like John Cena was there or something. You can't see him. I really honestly thought that's where we were heading.
I love this picture. I love the edit. But no, man, they did a phenomenal job.
That is great.
Man. That was amazing. Sorry about that. I always got to miss your...
It's all good. The look. All good.
It was great, man. I as soon as I saw the lights turn down, and I was like, man, it is great. I can't wait. And it's funny because they started it right off the bat. You saw at the beginning, you know, the whole like Marvel type of thing. They were like,
you saw the glitches and all that. And the one thing that I didn't know, and this is a tweet I sent it out at the end, because they're going through and they're showing everybody beat up and everything else. And again, maybe it's my TV. Maybe, you know, I was watching, you know, by that time, I think I was on the tablet actually. So maybe it was just me, but it felt like the only person that they really showed their face was Chad Gable. And I didn't understand that significance of why just Chad Gable. Why was Gable the one they showed? And then my daughter texted me and I said, I wonder what the significance of Chad Gable was. And she said, well, my understanding, and again, I didn't follow all the QR codes. On the last QR that came through, the message said, you used to say thank you. So maybe that was how again, the target was Chad Gable, it appears.
Well, Terry's saying something that I thought maybe makes sense, which is Uncle Howdy goes against Chad Gable as his opponent. That's the first thing that you could probably kind of assume will happen because of him he was the only one that was knocked out, right? I didn't see anybody else.
Supposedly there was other things going on where somebody said they saw Braun Strowman. Some people said they saw other people laid out. Some people said they saw Gunther. I don't know if they were edits. I don't know what they were. The only person that I physically saw that I said, oh man, was Gable.
Same. I mean, can we show the video or we can't?
I mean, we don't have enough followers where it's going to affect us, even if
we could probably mute it. We could probably mute it.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody's seen it by now. Everybody that's going to be on this show or following along right now has probably already seen it, on there. But it was very eerie. But then the one thing that I did like is that you saw physical violence. There was blood. Because they said they were going to kind of go away from the supernatural stuff because they felt that was kind of the issue with the Bray Wyatt character, is that it was so kind of like supernatural. When you got in the ring, how do you handle that? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, so now these guys, and if you don't know by now, I think the Rabbit, is it Husky? The Rabbit is Eric Rowan. Dexter Loomis was the bird. I can't think of their names right off the top of my head. Joe Gacy was the gentleman with the mask type thing, and of course Nikki Cross was there, and Bo Dallas is the Uncle Howdy, of course. And then I like the way they're spelling out the six.
But there's only 5 of them.
S. No, but it's not 6.
Yeah, it's S-I-C-K.
6,
yeah.
S-I-C-K. And I've seen a couple things. I've seen the number 6 at the end, and I've seen just an S. I don't know. I saw the merchandise come out, and I thought it said S-I-C-K and the number 6. So it's like the 6-6, I guess, 6 or however you want to look at it. I don't know, but and again, as No Doubt said, they said it was going to be a massacre. Now, the only thing, and again, I want to see where this goes, is if they did lay everybody out, won't everybody be wanting revenge on the next Raw? Like Like, I don't know how far, again, it could be like, oh, people had left already. Again, you could say, oh, people had already left backstage, so Gable was still there. I mean, you could work it out that way because, again, the only person I saw that was really visible was Chad Gable. There were some producers that were laid out in the room, and it looked like some hands that were where Eric Rowan was when he turned around. And kudos to them, the Bludgeon Brother hammer, kind of an ode to him and Harper when they were there, or So I like everything they did. I just would like to see where it goes from here. And see, like, do they show up on SmackDown? They're not tied to a brand now.
They're not.
Because I also thought about it too, is on NXT tonight, it was said from all locker rooms are going to be there. Joe Gacy was in NXT. Dexter Lumis was in NXT. Do they show up? And then, as you said, it's 6-6, and now they've got 5, which I think Sister Abigail will be 6. But then also I've heard Braun Strowman joining in. That puts you at 7.
Well, check this out. What about if Braun Strowman does not join, and the one who does join is the one that was visible to the eye, which is Chad Gable, because it looks like Alpha Academy left him high and dry.
Yeah, but I believe you're going to see the Creeds and Ivy Nile become the new Alpha Academy or whatever they're going to call themselves there.
All right, let me show you this. Let me show you this right now. Hold on. I'm going to share this with the screen. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So I'm trying to, let's see if we could zoom in here.
That's Eric Rowan right there. That's the stage hands there. There's some guys stacked on top of each other.
Who are these guys right here?
I think those are just enhancement guys. Those are just your security guards or whatever, the indie talent just stacked up on each other right there.
You don't think? Oh, because this guy looks like the one who used to be the 24/7 champion, but he's no longer with WWE. I think, right? He's gone. I think he left.
Ooh.
Whoops! I don't want to put the volume here. The guy, him. What is his name?
I can't tell what it's not this.
Let me see if can I zoom in.
Not the guy that does all the flips and everything, right?
Yes, him. The guy who does all the flips.
No, he's gone.
He's gone, right? He's gone.
Okay. Not saying that he couldn't have came back, but I believe he's out. He's gone. I know he did a show on Saturday night. He did an independent show. He did GCW. Okay. I don't know if you saw the cutter he did. He did 2 somersaults into a cutter.
Yeah, because I don't want them to go ahead and probably go ahead and copyright us because of the image. But I mean, the only thing I could think of is that maybe Chad Gable got knocked out to the point where he probably joins them. That could be a possibility.
I mean, you can run wild with this. Honestly, you can go any way you want to go with it.
Now, let me ask you.
It's going to end up being his first opponent. I think that's a good opponent for Bo Dallas and Chad Gable. And then you start getting, again, the family members, and then Gable needs help. That's where you start maybe adding people to his group, or maybe Otis and them turn to come back to help out Gable. To help, you know what I'm saying? So
you want to know what I loved about this whole thing is that they put in Dexter Lumis. Dexter Lumis' character, his wrestling character was it was never good in my eyes. It was never like, I know the whole thing with Mike and he was like scaring him and all that at one point in time and all that stuff, but it wasn't, I never caught on. I think he fits so perfect in this group. And the same thing goes with Nikki Cross. And then for them to bring in Joe Gacy, I mean, I didn't think they were going to bring him, but it makes freaking perfect sense.
No, and you watch the movements of the characters. It's not too different than what they were already. No. It's not like there's a wide swing and you're trying to make this guy stick in. He's still doing the Dexter Lumis character now, just with the mask on. Really, that's going to be the interesting part too. Is when they wrestle, did they make these masks so that they can wrestle in them? Or do they take them off and then you see, Rowan or do they take it off and it's like Nikki Cross where she had the paint and it just looks like a different, because when she looked up, I was like, oh, damn, that's different. And then No Doubt said, I heard rumors of a gun. Everybody says it looked like he was shot in the head because they just put the blood on the one side of his head.
Do
I
you
don't
want to
think it was
show
a
that image? Do you want me to show that
Yeah,
image?
show it, man. Because it's look, man. If you got a gunshot to the head, I don't think it's going to be that clean.
There it is, sir.
I mean, I don't think that's a gunshot.
There he is.
He's just pumping the blood out. I mean, he's just
knocked out. Literally. I don't
You
know what
know,
they did
so-
to him, but that was kind of. Now I will do this. Hold on a second. Before we go, I'm gonna rewind this for just a split second. There is somebody laying down next to him. You see that? I wonder who that is. And
Can
then
you go
there
back
is
a little bit more?
there was some more people. Like,
There's people
hold
there.
on.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't get a
Oh.
chance to see like a very well lit up. My tablet was a little bit darker than even some of these images look better than what I was seeing there. And I've watched it a couple times and it didn't look any different. Like, this is the only image where I said, that's Chad Gable. Like,
Yeah, and I was trying to look at,
where I could be like, okay.
I'm trying to look at, like, you see the cabin behind them or anything like that. I was trying to look for signs, like little hints to see how is this related to them. But there's nothing. There's just
No,
there's
it was the
absolutely
QR
nothing.
code. It said you used to say thank you. And that was the Easter egg that they gave you, basically, that was who it was going to be.
Yeah.
Because now, once you told me that, I was like, okay, it makes sense then. Because like I never saw that thing, and I was like, what the hell is going on here? So, but man, it's going to be very interesting to see to see where they go, man. I mean,
Yeah, and
you know what'd be funny is what if SmackDown starts the way Raw ends?
it's a possibility.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I don't know how that's, it's going to be interesting. Do they keep them just on Raw too? I mean, like, do they show up at SmackDown?
I think
Right now I don't believe they were
hot.
drafted, right? No, none of them were drafted, right? In the draft.
No.
So technically they're free agents.
The other thing we need to also realize here is if Chad Gable is not his first opponent, who do you think should be Uncle Howdy's first opponent?
You see, like, man, I don't think they get Uncle Howdy first, man.
You want to
You
know?
got to get through everybody else. It's like, to me, I feel like that should be. And then, you know what's funny is I said one thing like about, for instance, your beloved AEW. Private Party fooled Chris Jericho and did all that stuff, right?
Yes.
Now on AEW, they're getting Chris Jericho. Why not Brian Keith and Big Bill and earn the shot at Chris Jericho? Like, to me, you should have to earn to get to Uncle Howdy. You got to fight everybody else. That's what they're there for. It's like the old horsemen. You had Arn, you had Ole, you had Tully. You got through them, then you got to Rick. Like, I feel like that's how it should be a cult. Like, you're not getting our Uncle Howdy unless you get through us.
There's one person in my mind that would make sense for them to go ahead and be the opponent if it isn't Chad Gable. In my opinion.
I'm going to listen. Go ahead.
Okay. So, and for me, it kind of makes sense. There's a couple things. Uncle Howdy comes out. Who was the last person that came out and like they did a whole bunch of things for him right before obviously this
I
happened?
believe it was LA Knight, wasn't it? Or was there somebody after LA Knight? Am I missing somebody?
Well, no, the one on the ring. Like, who was the one? What was the match before? It was
Jay Uso is the three-way. I'm sorry. Yeah.
exactly. And what does
Finn
Jey
Balor.
Uso? What does Jey Uso typically get from the crowd? He's been getting all the fans with the lights going on. So how about if WWE does this, where they put the competition of Jey Uso versus Uncle Howdy, and then you make this a big match, like, and you could, I don't know if SummerSlam is too early, but having the crowd see the Jey Uso crazy lights, right, and then the Uncle Howdy lights, I think that's amazing.
But how about this?
For them to do.
How about this, though?
Give the fireflies everywhere.
Yeah, but and then Cornelius says he gave the fireflies back. How about this? As an ode to the Bray Wyatt and everything else, what if Uncle Howdy and them help Jey Uso? The fireflies are part of they're not friends or whatever you say, but they end up helping them out because of the fireflies.
I don't know, man, because remember it was a massacre. So I kind of get that vibe that they're going to be evil.
Yeah, but was Jey Uso involved in it? Again, this is where,
They
like,
could
yes,
play
it was
with
a
it.
massacre backstage, but if you go by the QR code, they said you used to say thank you. So it's not like they just went through and whoever was there. They had targets. It's just other people got in the way before they got to the target.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, and I don't throw your idea away, but they could go the other way too.
I mean, for the love of God, they could even make it an NXT.
No, they do. This could show up anywhere to me. That's
what I love.
That is what I like exactly, because like I said, Joe Gacy was in NXT. Dexter Lumis went up to the main roster, but he was in NXT. You could have this just be like,
wait,
like they used to do with Bray Wyatt. All of a sudden, you see the rabbit show up in the background of an interview, and you're like, oh no.
How about
and then the buzzard and all this stuff? And it's like,
how about they go to each one? They didn't do it yesterday because they actually had to like present themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now all of a sudden they set targets at each heavyweight champion. So when they go to NXT, they go and kind of freak out Trick Williams. Then they go to SmackDown, they freak out Cody Rhodes. Then they go to Monday Night Raw next week and they do the same thing to Damian Priest. They could do something like that with them as well. It's easy and doable to be able to do stuff.
Or as you're saying, maybe it's not necessarily just the champions either. They could just have said targets at each one. I agree. I mean, I just don't know if you want to throw them in a title picture like that yet. Like if you start throwing out, like say they target LA Knight because LA Knight had a thing with Bray Wyatt. Remember, they were feuding and Uncle Howdy did the dive off the top onto LA Knight. So could they write that back into where LA Knight becomes a target? If LA Knight actually wins the US title, now you're chasing gold, not the heavyweight title, but gold. Sami Zayn, an intercontinental title. Do they go maybe lower is what I'm saying. I mean, look, the thing with Damian Priest on Raw would make sense too, though, because you got Judgment Day, and then you'll have them. So you could have a battle.
Amazing. That could be
you could have the battle right there, and you kind of keep everybody together. And then also, I don't know if you saw, and then Cap for Life said that Karrion Kross is making him snore. He applauded the Wyatt Sicks for their efforts of destroying Raw. So I don't know if that's being played in or if that's just, something else. But the testament is, giving rounds of applause to what the Wyatt Sicks did.
Why is one of them? Which one is the rabbit?
The rabbit is Eric Rowan.
Okay, so why is Eric Rowan? Did he used to hold that help sign before as well back in the day?
No, that's the Bludgeon Brothers, the big thing that they used to carry, him and Luke Harper. When they were the Bludgeon Brothers, they carried the big thing. He wrote help on it because I believe the rabbit always held a sign that said help.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's why
now
I was
it's not just the sign. Now it's the Bludgeon Brothers thing. I think that's more of an ode also to the Wyatt family back.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I like it, man. And they could go a complete different routes with everyone.
They have left it open to go anyway. The only person again, as you said, you couldn't tell, but you're telling me they can't just take it and be like, okay, we know who that is. And now piece by piece, like what they did with Pat McAfee with the card. Next week, Pat McAfee opens up and he goes, let's look at who the Wyatt Sicks took out. Boom, here's Gunther. Boom, here's Braun Breaker. Because I just saw names that were mentioned in the chat, so I was using those names. I don't know who. The only person I saw
mean, they could go after the bloodline, bro.
Was Chad Gable. No, I know that, but I'm saying the only person that, look, I think Terry is right. I think, you know what? They said that guy you thought was the former 24/7 title. He said he wondered if that was Carmelo Hayes.
Really? Okay, hold on a second. Let me go back on the video. I could always pull it up.
Cap for Life. Dexter Lumis, I believe, is the buzzard is Dexter. And then Joe Gacy. I'm not sure. The Joe Gacy one throws me off. I don't know who that is. Like that wasn't on the Funhouse, Firefly Funhouse. That character, not the mask, anyways. I don't remember that mask being on there.
And Nikki Cross is so good. I'm just watching.
Nikki Cross is the witch.
She's so good.
The Rabbit is Rowan. Carmelo is like right at the beginning. So I think that's the pile of bodies that you're talking about. They think
Hold on.
Hayes.
Okay, so let me.
Huskis,
All right.
Iowa, yes.
You know what's crazy is that one of them actually looked like this guy from but he doesn't look
it could
like.
be guys from NXT too, man. Because
No,
NXT
no,
guys usually do the main event.
Kofi Kingston. One of them looks like Kofi Kingston.
Oh, it might be then. It might. Again, I just couldn't make them out. They could easily. They have time to take the footage and be like, we've made it to where clear to see who you can see was laid out. Pat McAfee comes in with the telestrator. Like they're saying, I think that's the one they're saying looks like.
They're saying that this looks like Carmelo.
Yeah,
and then this guy looks like Kofi Kingston.
You see that one to the far right there? I believe
doesn't that look like Gunther? That's
the one they said was Gunther. That's what. Again, I don't know. I can't tell you that's Gunther with 100%. Now
I can't zoom in. I'm trying to zoom in, but no, it doesn't allow me. Yeah, that's the closest one. You could honestly say this is Gunther. This could be Carmelo, and this could be Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
Or we could just be
regular guys. This is what WWE does, though. Again, remember when I told you who's Brock Lesnar going to fight at Madison Square Garden? Everybody had all these things come up like, oh, it's going to be this guy. Oh, it's going to be for the championship. And then it was Austin Theory, and everybody's like, oh, WWE, you did it too. WWE didn't do anything. They just said that they're showing up. That's exactly what they've done here. The only one they've shown fully out to where you could tell who it was the one on the QR code, which ends up being Chad Gable. Everybody else is kind of like, you can't tell perfectly. Yeah, I could say that might be Gunther. It probably is.
That does look like Gunther.
Man, dude, they set this up so well.
And again,
to where like, and again, they've also think about this. All they did last night was have Nikki Cross crawl out, stand up, point to the back. You went to the back. Rowan turns around. You go inside. Dexter sitting on the thing. You walk through the curtain again. There was Gacy. They show Gable laying down. And then you go to Uncle Howdy and he's got his hands wide open. And then he starts walking and strutting and strolling to the ring. And then as he walks by each one, they join in. They walk right to the urn, which is their calling. I think that's what's going to end up being. It's going to be like the Undertaker's urn. The lantern's going to end up being like the Undertaker's urn. That's going to be their calling, I believe, is what's going to end up happening. And then all he says at the end is, we're here. And he blows out the lantern and it goes off. They did, they showed that they did a lot of damage. But what did we actually see them do?
All right, now hold on a second. I'm trying to see. Who can? Okay, so look at this now. I'm trying.
Yeah, no. Go down.
We could dissect this, right?
We can sit there and try it. Yeah.
Now look who's this. Does this look like anybody? Oh man, I made it smaller.
Not anymore.
Does that look like anybody? That doesn't look like anybody, right? I don't think so.
No, that's one of the producers, man. I can't tell who that is.
It doesn't look like anybody because I'm looking at his hair. It doesn't look like anything. It looks like he got shot though.
Well, it looks like he took his head and rammed it into the back of the wall.
Yeah, it does look like that too. One of the two. That's pretty cool though that they did that. I like I said, I'm trying to dissect the video and see if I notice anybody, but I'm not.
No doubt. That's an interesting take. I interpreted the taking the lantern and blowing it out as passing the torch. I think it's going to be interesting. Let's see if he shows up with it next. I believe it's going to be kind of their calling card now to where, like remember the Undertaker, when the urn was in Paul Bearer's hand, he was unbeatable. But then when somebody took it, it like drained a little bit of his energy. Not like Superman and Kryptonite, don't get me wrong, but it took a little bit. So I wonder if they end up using that lantern to be, something like that as far as what Wyatt Sicks will be.
Now, hold on. Now I'm thinking about something here. Now, look, check this out. Everywhere the guys are laid out, there is somebody from obviously the Wyatt Sicks, right? So maybe those first three opponents could be the first three opponents for Eric Rowe, right? Because he's the bunny. And then next to the one that I showed you with his head got smashed.
Yeah.
The next image is I think
Chad Gacy walking through. Well, Dexter Lumis is on the The
Well,
on the
he's sitting
stand right
down.
there, right? Yeah, right. Looking at the guy that's
Exactly. So that could be showing like, yo, he's the next opponent for him,
Could be.
right?
Yeah.
And then I'm looking as well at who's the next one, and then you see Chad Gable is right next to.
It might be Gable against Gacy to get the to get the Uncle Howdy. Because I don't know that, again, like, to me, it's like, think about this, okay? Whenever you have, the quote unquote cult, which I think like this is going to have that feeling, I believe, like Uncle Howdy's the cult leader. When do you get at the leader? You have to go through everybody else first.
Yeah, you have to.
So I feel like this is what this is going to be. And this is what changes the dynamic from the supernatural to now being maybe the ultra violent, to where now maybe it'll make more sense in the wrestling, to the common wrestler. Because I think the problem is when you did cinematic matches, Bray Wyatt made perfect sense. Because you could do whatever, you could play the mind tricks, the Freddy Krueger stuff like he did with Cena. But then when you get into a real match, you can't really use that. The powers aren't there. So now with this, I think it's going to be.
And again, this is something that works because there isn't a character that stands out like back in the day, like Undertaker. Yeah. All of them together now. Bray Wyatt was the closest, but now having the Wyatt Sicks, it makes sense to combine them all together. And again, like you said, it could be warfare when it comes to Survivor Series. They could go after the Bloodline. They could go after other groups out there, like,
or you could even do that, like I remember back in the day there was one Survivor Series, and I can't remember which one it was, but they actually did 4 5-man teams, so there's 20 guys in the match. So you could do the Bloodline versus Judgment Day versus the Wyatt Sicks versus, you know what I'm saying? So now you have more than enough groups or factions that means something. You don't just throw guys together. You have guys together that are actually, and Judgment Day, it's odd, man. It's so odd with them too, because they are relevant, but as a group, they haven't done anything.
No, they haven't.
But they stay relevant because of the Liv Morgan thing, and of course Damian Priest, who really showed.
How dare you say Liv Morgan? It's because of Dom Mysterio, sir.
Yes. It's because of Dom and his pink freaking cow leather jacket.
Well, she's the one chasing him.
Yes, you're right.
They do not need mommy back ASAP. You could set that up. You could set that up for Uncle Howdy's the Wyatt Sicks against the Judgment Day, and you have
that's what I'm saying.
You have a perfect setup. Now that you have mommy,
even with the Testament, Scarlett can wrestle. She's not the greatest, but she can get in there to get, with Nikki Cross. And then if you want Bloodline, I'm sure you could throw in Nia or find, a Samoan Dynasty member that could come in to cover that spot if you needed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's so many. And then also, I'm very interested to see if and when Alexa Bliss comes back.
How they mix her in here?
Well, no, but think about this. Sister Abigail and whatever they're calling Nikki Cross now, as a tag team, going for the women's tag team titles.
Yeah, but you don't want to make it too big either, right? You don't want to make that group that big.
No, but it's the Wyatt Sicks. They only have 5, and Sister Abigail would make sense to come back into it.
True. And you know what? I'm also thinking that they could even have to go after Randy, because Randy had a huge feud with Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Burned them and everything.
Yeah.
They could spin
That's
this
the thing
off.
Is, like, do they go back to anybody that did Bray wrong in the stories?
That would be pretty cool.
Seth beat him for the title, right? Remember, he was the champion, and then Seth threw all the chairs on him or whatever, and that it was a Hell in the Cell, I think, and he beat him for the title. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things that you could, because that's what I thought at first was like the way they're going to use this team, because I didn't know about.
No, we lost him. Looks like Sean just went ahead and he quit like Drew McIntyre. Well, since Sean is out, I just want to let you guys know he did mention, so he gave me the heads up that this could happen. So I'll take over. Finally, the right person could take over the Squared Circle Digest. But yes, that is an option. Uncle Hottie, the Wicked Six, they could do what they got to do in order for them to go ahead and just become like this evil group and just go after everybody vengeful and just take over the whole WWE world and make it like a revenge tour, you know, that they're gonna just go after everybody who did Bray Wyatt wrong. And then at the same time, you know, they could run with this story for a very long time. I don't think people are gonna get burned out. It's too new and everything.
It'll be like
now,
the bloodline. Every time you think you figured it out, they'll change a layer.
Now, do you think they're still gonna do the codes? Do you think they'll do the little codes throughout, even though they're already been, you know, presented? Will they still do little codes?
I would just so you can throw out the, like, for instance, the people that followed the QR codes understood what happened to Chad Gable.
That's true. I did it.
It
was too many of them.
I don't study. I don't follow the QR codes.
It was too many of them.
But if you want to keep that storyline going, people will know who their next target is if they follow that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could tell you ahead of time and see how it works from there.
We'll see. But let's talk about the other things that also happen.
Yes.
People are saying it in the chat. Seth Rollins is back. That damn CM Punk is out there. Drew McIntyre, you quit on me like 2 minutes ago, but at least you came back. Is Drew McIntyre coming back, sir?
My understanding is, well, he's going to be elite, buddy. I'm just kidding, man. I started laughing yesterday when people were like, oh, Drew's going to go to all of, it's a freaking storyline. If Drew really quits, he's not going to do it on TV, bro.
Now, let me ask you this, because I read this online and I saw it online, and some people were saying yes, some people were saying no, some people were saying you crazy. Was what happened at Clash at the Castle the biggest screw job after the Bret Hart? Because, dude, when we were watching it, and you told me, guys, you saw that entrance, you saw everybody coming in, it looked marvelous. We were like, wow. And I think they did this as well in WrestleMania. So this is the second time they do this to him, and then they screw him over.
Dude,
so it makes sense.
Texted you right before Clash of Castle, and I said, I think I'm wrong. I think I messed up on my pick. I don't know that they're going to screw Drew. I said, I don't know if they're going to screw Drew with the reaction he's getting from this crowd. And luckily for me, my pick stayed true. And they did, but I did not know if this gives me so much confidence in Triple H to say, because honestly, I think if Vince McMahon is there, Drew's your champion right now. Drew's your champion, and then CM Punk screws him on a Raw, and Damian Priest gets a rematch and gets it back there. Vince is so like, oh, the crowd's going to turn against us. And the crowd didn't turn against them.
Well, CM Punk was freaking out. He was like, oh my God, I thought they were going to come and just like, kill me out here.
And you had your group, as they were leaving, they were saying CM and the word describing a lady that we won't say as they're screaming. But again, they were leaving talking about what just happened. Not leaving going, hey, what are we doing next? Where are we heading? Are we heading to the bar now? No, they were talking about CM Punk screwing Drew McIntyre. Like, it is one of the, like, to me, it gives me hope that you're going to see a lot more. And then again, I know Triple H has opened up the Forbidden Door now with Noah and some other stuff, Marigold and some other things that they're doing, TNA. But when you watch this, again, it's not, I had my reservations, but when I saw that he didn't, and then kudos to the camera job they did.
They did.
Again, if you know CM Punk, his hair, when he slid in, you were probably tipped off right there. But for those that didn't know, and most of the people probably in the arena, all they see is a spotlight of a guy hauling butt to the ring, sliding in, 1, 2, and then sits up on a knee and just looks at Drew.
So good.
Then they figure out that it's CM Punk.
So good. When he looks at him and he goes like this to him,
oh, so
like,
good.
Oh man, I was like,
you know what that's from, right? You know what that's from, right?
Where's that from?
That's from Drew's Instagram over CM Punk's grave.
Oh, you're so right, dude.
But he was still doing the 2 count. But see, remember, Drew did the peace sign with CM Punk's grave out there.
Wait.
And then
Cap for Life said it. Social media has changed the game.
It has
WWE, because now that you bring that
Triple
up,
H
it makes
is using it.
sense.
They didn't use it before. They didn't use it. Hell, think about it. They try to take social media away from their people. They didn't understand it because now Triple H is so enjoying this, man. So and you think that it wasn't set up to be, because everybody's like, oh, how can you have Drew McIntyre not on the presser? It was set up that way. You have CM Punk there. You have everybody there. No Drew. Why is Drew going to go to a presser? Like, I honestly, I didn't know. I wasn't aware of, because I was like, well, CM Punk came back. He was like, oh, I cleared the referee, nothing else. Then I was like, because I was like waiting for Drew to come and just start destroying that area. Because that was what I was thinking. I was like, oh, he's going to come and they're bringing CM Punk in so he can come and, cause a big scene. Because then what does that also bring back? CM Punk, backstage brawl? Oh, my goodness. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, you start throwing all this stuff out there.
And not only that, then they use social media to show how CM Punk got the referee shirt and everything. And like you said, they sold it to us to the point where, like, man, they're so clever. They're doing what AEW used to do back in the day, which is they're using social media.
Can I tell you something, man?
To win.
I'm starting to think that was Cody.
That gave him that idea? I wouldn't be surprised.
Not that but to say, hey, guys, we need to use social media. Let me show you what happens when we use social media.
The thing also, too, is that The Rock used it a lot, man.
Because think about it. When did the AEW stop using social media like that? When Cody left.
Probably when Cody left, yeah.
I mean, the Elite still got their pocket, but they do not use what they do anymore like they do. But now Cody's there, and you're watching WWE do it.
It's perfect work from WWE. It's the reason why they're number 1 right now. And they've been number 1 all this time.
And then Cat for Life says, I heard a whole crap load of different wrestling podcasts saying that QR code was the reason they knew about the end of the show. Marketing genius. Exactly. You made them tune in till the very last segment because they knew something was going to happen.
Look,
that's where we look at AEW too and go, why don't we do more of this?
Us old geezers are not used to going and watching the QR code left and right. Yeah. But now if they show it, I'm gonna have to go in and
usually what I'll do is I'll jump on social media because somebody usually gets it and breaks it down. So that's what I usually do. But last night I didn't because I was like, oh, I want to see how this rolls out. So I have been live tweeting Raw. This Raw, I did not. I did a couple things here and there, but I was trying to stay off X because I really wanted to see the whole thing without being. I didn't even look at Sean Ross Sapp's Raw notes or nothing. Like, I wanted to just be surprised by how it was laid out because I wanted to see how they do it.
Well, now let me ask you about obviously Drew McIntyre. If he did quit, what's next for him? Because everybody thought it's going to be Drew McIntyre versus.
Yeah, this is the whole thing. This is what I think they're doing. CM Punk went to get cleared yesterday in Chicago. He's going to be at SmackDown this Friday.
Yes.
I've got to wonder one of two things. One, because they said Punk's not going to be ready until SummerSlam for a match. So now Drew quits, leaves. He's off TV for 2 or 3 weeks. Now you have CM Punk showing up and doing what Drew did while CM Punk wasn't there. So now the shoe's on the other foot. But now they're still not touching each other because Drew's quit. And then somehow CM Punk coax him in to showing up. Or Drew just shows up and... But see, here's the thing I hope they don't do. I don't want to see them touch until the match at SummerSlam. Like, I want it to be a big...
I don't think
Smalls or whatever, but I don't want them to touch any more than they already have.
I don't think something's going to happen in SmackDown. You want to know why? because Drew McIntyre took his X account down. So he's not even an X anymore.
Yeah,
So
no,
I think they're going to fly with this quit.
When you do it, they're just going to take him off TV for a while to lead up until when he comes back to do for SummerSlam. This way you don't make Drew look dumb. If he just got screwed for the second time by this guy, why am I going to sit on any TV show and not be trying to get to him? Show your frustration, disappear for 3 or 4 weeks, come back for the build up to SummerSlam.
So then what do you think CM Punk is going to do on Friday then?
He's going to be like, I'm back. He's in Chicago. And then he'll go to Raw and he'll probably call out like, oh, I noticed somebody quit and this and that. And, you know what they might do and might not do. I don't know how they're going to work this. But if I'm WWE, I don't even mention Drew's name. He quit. He's done. He quit on us. That's the way I'm looking at it. So I have CM Punk go out there and be like, you know, I heard some Scottish guy quit, some big, handsome Scottish guy quit the company because he's frustrated because he can't win a title. Well, I told you in the presser, I will never let him win a title as long as I'm here. He said that in the presser. He said Drew McIntyre will never win a world title as long as I'm in WWE.
And in the presser, he said, I don't have to do a Hell in the Cell. I don't have to do any of these things. I just got to beat him one-on-one, like no more wrestling.
Yep.
And I think that's smart. Now, No Doubt says, is CM Punk going for Money in the Bank? I would say he would, but except that he didn't get cleared until SummerSlam. So it doesn't make any sense for him to be able to go for Money in the Bank.
You know what's interesting, too, is they announced the Money in the Bank next match, which was Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman versus Chad Gable. Bronson Reed came out and he said, both my opponents were killed. So now does Bronson Reed automatically get through to the...
They should play it out where Chad Gable is out.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Again, this whole thing, or the lights go out when Chad Gable starts getting over. You come back on and Chad Gable's gone or something. I mean, you know, or
he's laid out. He's laid out, and then Bronson Reed can win.
And it's Rowan, Gacy, and them just kind of standing over his body.
No, you don't even do that. You just see Chad Gable laid out, and then Bronson Reed's able to pin him out, and that's it. And then you leave the people wondering what the hell happened to Chad Gable. Who laid him out?
Because Braun Strowman you can take out with Judgment Day. Think about this: Braun Strowman gets taken out by Judgment Day.
Woo.
Gable gets taken out by the Wyatt Sicks. Bronson Reed advances to the ladder match.
All right, so some people, before we talk about Ricochet a little bit, I know we're trying to make this show short because I know you're busy, Sean.
Yeah, well, I got to do the post-game show for the Stanley Cup Championship tonight, and then we got Caneswear tomorrow.
But what you think about WWE making it an amazing introduction, just starting with Seth Rollins at the beginning of the show?
Great.
It was who would have ever thought?
It was not thought that wasn't something I was thinking was going to happen right away.
And nobody talked about it.
No. And then how about this? How about them just coming out and being like, you don't got to go in Hell in the Cell. I'll give you the match. They have in 3 weeks, they have made Damian Priest become a world champion.
But wait, hold on. I'm a little bit concerned because he looked like he was wobbling out there, man.
No, he was. But what I'm saying though is that match against at Clash of the Castle with Drew elevated him up more than I thought it would, honestly.
But here's my concern. You could tell he's hurt.
Yeah, but he's not going to wrestle until SummerSlam. I guarantee you, they're going to
wait. But they made the match for Money in the Bank.
I'm sorry, he's not going to wrestle Money in the Bank. He's going to have 4 weeks off, probably.
Do you think Seth Rollins gets over Damian Priest? Because I don't know if Damian Priest is going to be healed up by that time.
Here's the thing, though. He doesn't have to be healed up. Because what happens if Wyatt Sicks makes Seth Rollins their next target, and at the pay-per-view they take out Seth Rollins?
Now we're taking that Wyatt Sicks overboard. We're saying they're going to lay out everybody.
But I'm saying, I don't think, again, and this is why, look, a couple weeks ago, I probably would have said Seth Rollins gets the title because they want Seth against Gunther at SummerSlam.
Okay.
Because it's sexier. But I thought Damian Priest handled himself well and has handled himself well to where I wouldn't mind seeing Damian against Gunther.
I don't mind that.
So why not screw Seth Rollins with somebody? So now you add a match to SummerSlam, Seth Rollins versus somebody else.
I do agree with what No Doubt just wrote. I don't buy that Priest is legit yet. I don't either. I think he's been elevated, but he's not there yet. That's why I'm feared that maybe Seth will beat him, especially since he got hurt. I don't think Damian Priest has reached like, yo, he's star power.
Right, I'm not saying he's a super. I'm not saying he's a Cody Rhodes level champion. But man, dude, compared to what he was before he got into this Drew McIntyre era, and now with the way he's leading the Judgment Day, he has shown at least now he's not just, dude, when he talks about, oh, everybody thought I was just here to placehold the title, right here, number one, I thought he was holding the title to get to somebody else.
Yeah.
Now he's turned into a legit that.
And you want to know what's crazy? You want to know what WWE?
Real quick. No Doubt says something right here. Him beating Seth would make him the legit champion.
Absolutely.
So think about that now. And again, I'm just saying is think about now the SummerSlam card. Okay. It's already what Gunther versus the champion, which right now we'll say is Damian Priest. Just using it as a thing right now. All right. You'll have Cody versus, I don't know, the look I saw from Randy Orton. I would not be surprised if Randy doesn't do a turn soon.
Really? No,
you didn't see the title, him looking at the title at the end?
I got them probably doing a 3-on-3 on Money in the Bank. I think they're gonna
I have that, yes. I have the 6-man being the next in line, yes.
Yeah, I think because all three of them, Kevin Owens, Cody, and Randy
Orton. I think what happens is an RKO at the end of that match and sets up for SummerSlam.
Maybe Randy Orton does it by accident, and the bloodline wins because it makes sense for the bloodline.
Oh, you know what? Cody might go for something, and one of them move, and he hits that kick that he does off the rope and hits Orton. Orton kind of like, somebody he hit me, and then at the end, no, dude, no. But I can see that. So now think of again. Looking at SummerSlam, you'll have Gunther, Damian Priest, right? Cody, Orton, just throwing it out there.
CM Punk with somebody.
You could throw Seth against somebody. You haven't even thrown the women's titles in there, which is already Nia against Bayley right now, if that stays.
Liv Morgan could be in there too.
Liv will probably be in there against Rhea. I got to believe Rhea might be back by then. I don't know, though. I don't know. I haven't seen. It's very odd. Like, she's gone very
rogue?
Not rogue, just like she was showing so much, like she was almost like Charlotte Flair-ish on her rehab. And then just like the thing with CM Punk where everything just went quiet.
Yes, you know why, right?
Leading up to Clash of the Castle, there was no mentions of CM Punk. I put CM Punk behind me. I'm not talking anymore.
But you know why, right? It makes perfect sense. Going back to the social media. Yes. She's seeing what Dom and Liv is happening. So she's pissed off. She's not going on X and tweeting and any of that stuff. She ain't going on Instagram because she's upset. She doesn't know how to handle this. So they're making good use of it. And it makes perfect sense.
No, 100%, man. It is very interesting the way it's going. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go. Because again, Money in the Bank also, whoever wins those briefcases could cash in at SummerSlam. Hell, they could cash in at Money in the Bank, and that changes the SummerSlam all the way. Think about this. Jey Uso wins the Money in the Bank. Damian Priest is wrestling at. That's why I don't think Damian Priest is going to. Well, no, he's going to wrestle Seth. He's got to wrestle Seth at Money in the Bank. So Damian beats Seth. You go, oh, Damian's legit. Jay comes in, cashes in the briefcase, and wins.
The only way I could see that being derailed is if Damian Priest is still injured, because I don't think they would want to run with a.
I agree, but I'm saying, but see, again, they got an out if they needed to.
True.
They could still be like, damn, oh, Damian showed, but now he loses the belt the same way he won it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where those Money in the Bank briefcases come in handy, because you could just change complexions or a storyline like that. And that's why I think they hold on to them for certain amounts of time. Whereas usually, like, if the women's is cashed in early, the men's is held on to.
And you want to know
vice versa.
And you want to know one thing that I wanted to mention here is that WWE makes things beautiful. When you had Seth, when you had Damian Priest, one-on-one, looking at each other. Even though Seth Rollins is the bigger star, they still give the respect to Damian Priest. Now, where am I going with this? For a lot of you guys who don't tune in and you look at AEW, if you look at what happened last weekend in Dynamite, you would see what I'm talking about. When they went ahead in AEW and they pretty much screwed over Swerve Strickland. How in God's green earth are you going to go ahead, take the title, Will Ospreay, put it on yourself, and then Swerve Strickland just looks at him like this and it doesn't do anything. And then he whispers in his ear, he's like, "Oh, I
Maybe glad
like
we're
you."
friends, because if not, I would have put you in a grave.
What a disgrace, AEW. How dare you do that to your heavyweight champion? You don't do that, man. WWE didn't go and tell Seth Rollins, rip the belt from Damian Priest. Look at the two contrasts of how when WWE knows what the hell they're doing and when AEW does it. And you could tell that it makes no sense.
I think what they're trying to get to, though, is to where they're trying to make a heel in this. The problem is right now you have Swerve against Will. You have there's no animosity. So now the belt's going to cause the animosity is what I'm thinking they were shooting for.
Yeah, but you're disrespecting
now, it doesn't
your
come
champion,
off
bro.
that way because the way it happened. What should have happened is the belt should never have hit the ground. Ospreay should have just ripped it and put it right on his shoulder. It should have been bend over, pick it up, then put it on. It should have been rip away, right on the shoulder, and then Swerve should have went over and ripped it right back off his shoulder. Not sat there and looked at him. It should have went and ripped it right back if that's what they were going to do.
He should have ripped the belt from Swerve, and then as he's about to put it on, Swerve should have knocked him out.
That's the same thing I'm saying. So as he was going to put it on, you rip it away.
No, you don't even rip him away. You knock him out. How dare you go ahead and do it?
You can't, because
you gotta knock him out.
No,
you gotta make sure.
Here goes the problem. Now you've made Swerve the heel.
It doesn't matter. It
does matter because they're trying to make the fans choose. They're trying to make the fans choose who it's going to be. If you're going to be on Team Swerve or Team Ospreay. They're not trying to do heel and face. They're trying to make them feel, okay, who's it going to be?
Yeah, but you could understand Swerve going that extra mile to have to do that. Because even if and it's up to the fans, because some fans are going to be like, hell yeah, I'm glad that the champion stuck him. Screw Will Ospreay. He is the heavyweight champion. Respect him. While the other fans could be like, nah, man, how dare you?
And also let it play out this week. Let's see if the same thing happens this week when they go face to face.
Well, we'll see. Because look.
This time, if he goes to grab the belt, the Swerve just stick him right there and said, look, I told you one time. I told you we were friends. You got it that time. I didn't put you in the grave. Now I put you in the grave.
Because look what they did with Roosh and MJF. You got Roosh duking it out with MJF. I liked it. It wasn't bad. But, man, it's just like I like the brawl that they went out and they did everything crazy out there and all that stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. But still, it just, I don't know, man.
There goes my problem with that thing. And, again, I hate this because, and this is can I go on a rant real quick?
Go for it.
Look, I don't care if you're pro WWE, you're pro AEW. Like, look, man, botches happen. Yes, you can critique them. Yes, you can. But, bro, like, more stuff happened at that pay-per-view other than Cody's name being wrong, Damian Priest getting caught in the ropes, and also Jade Cargill. I saw more pictures of those three slip-ups than anything else that happened on that card. To me, that is a bunch of bullshit. And I'm here to critique. I critique the shit out of AEW. I critique as much as I can of WWE. Before, I used to critique them a lot more than what I have lately. But again, I critique and I move on. It's not, I saw the same person send out 6 damn angles of the Jade Cargill botch. Hey, bro, let me go to your work and let me film you and let me put you on social media every time you mess up. I'm not saying you can't sit there and critique the slip up and the botch. Yes, it happened. But God damn, man, move on. It's not the only thing that happened in that show. Critique and move on. If you want clicks, then become a journalist. Like that's all I'm gonna say. I'm done with it. That's it.
Well, I see where you're getting from, but remember, negative stuff gets you views. So people are gonna always criticize and always point out bad things.
Okay,
That's
so
how it
she did a move during the thing where she did a Samoan drop and release slam at the same time. I saw that on 30 feeds. I saw the slip up, which, by the way, the ref at the beginning of the pay-per-view tells AJ Styles, watch out, the ropes are loose. I'm not sure if everything got relayed back to everybody. Apparently not. But, like, okay, it's done.
Wait, but I will tell you this. Did you see Braun Breaker slip up yesterday?
Yeah,
When Braun Breaker, and the people booed.
Yeah.
So the people noticed it dramatically.
No,
and it was so
happens.
noticeable that
It
people
happens.
booed.
Again, that's something that, and this is where I'll say this. This is where Vince McMahon had this on lockdown. Braun Breaker wouldn't be doing that shit if Vince was running it.
No, he wouldn't.
Braun Breaker's not going up to the top rope as big as he is right now. No, that's not happening. It's going to happen now, but you take the good with the bad. When the slip up happens, the only good thing was they kind of at least made it look like something. You know, it wasn't like he just went back down and whatever. They kind of like hooked his leg and went and whatever they did there to make it happen. But like, I get it. Botches happen. It's going to happen, especially when you leave your feet in wrestling. But talk about it, critique it, and move on. Like, I don't need to see 37 tweets from the same person on the same thing. And then you want to talk about everything bad. And then you want to send out a tweet and be like, I don't see why all I see is negativity on my timeline. Bro, you got 37 tweets about Jade Cargill and Cody and Damian Priest. And can I tell you something? Damian Priest worked that shit so well. By the end of it, I was like, was that really a botch? Or was that part of the show?
Yeah.
Because if you watch Drew catches him and then he falls back. And then Drew pushes the ref away. So either at that point, he's already relayed to Drew that, hey, I'm good, continue, because nobody freaked out about, oh, his legs messed up.
No.
He's hanging upside down. Drew's kicking him. The crowd's going crazy. And they worked it like it was part of the match.
Yeah.
So,
and the Braun Breaker thing, when he messed up, I mean, they made it up because then you saw how Braun Breaker ran and speared Kaiser.
Dude.
And they did an amazing job with the camera angle.
Yeah, they brought him right back in. And the problem with that, though, is I don't know how you make Braun Breaker a heel again after he laid out Kaiser that way.
Well, the thing is, like you said, they've been trying to make Braun Breaker like a kind of like a Rhino. You know,
he just goes out and gores everybody. Yeah, spear.
But the question is, what is this? Because you saw him. He was looking at Sami Zayn. Mm-hmm. So is it now Braun Breaker versus Sami Zayn? Is that Sami Zayn?
That might be what you get at SummerSlam.
Ooh,
or do you get that Money in the Bank? I don't know.
Yeah, because you saw Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn.
The Intercontinental title and the U.S. Championship on pay-per-views. So if that's the case, IC belt, the U.S. belt will be this one because the IC belt was on the last one. And if you look at it, Logan Paul and
LA
Knight are feuding, so that might be Money in the Bank. So then you set up Braun Breaker, Sami Zayn at SummerSlam.
That makes perfect sense to have those two go at it at SummerSlam. That would be a good fight. I still think Sami Zayn would get over.
Yeah, no.
It'll be hard. But remember,
remember,
you know what Sami
all the enemies that Braun Breaker's making.
And not only that, but you know how Sami Zayn is like the guy who always like
pulls it out at the end somehow.
Yeah, like supersedes. Like nobody thinks he's gonna win, and then he figures it out
with the haluva kick, and boom, it's over.
Yeah, so it makes perfect sense. It would be like, yo, he finally takes down this guy who's going crazy and spearing everybody.
Yeah.
So amazing. Now I will ask you this one. I know we gotta end the show in a couple minutes, but do you think that WWE got it right taking the belts away from Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill? I know it was the hometown.
Say that again, man. I think I'm having some issues here on the internet, man.
Oh, Uncle Howdy and the
Wyatt Sicks is messing with me tonight. Actually, I think I said their name too many times.
I think so. Do you think WWE got it right by letting Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill lose the tag team belts.
All right, here's where I'll go with this. They had to give the hometown one championship. And Jade and Bianca didn't figure into the. Remember, Jade is the one that put Shayna Baszler down for the 3 count.
Mm-hmm.
It just so happened that I think it was Alba one of them slid in and threw her out and took the pin. So they did all the damage. They just didn't get the pin. So I'm not going to say that it was the wrong call because, again, Piper Niven, we figured wasn't going to win.
No.
And then once you knew Drew was going to get screwed, now looking back at it, that was their chance for the crowd. And then also with all the shit that Alba Fire's been through in the last week, and I was not even aware of all of the stuff that she had been through. Her mom had passed away and things like that in her hometown, in their hometown. Like, I mean, you didn't make them look bad. They just lost the titles because they didn't figure in the win. Again, the only way you were going to take the titles off of them is going to be them splitting up or the way they did it. Those are the only 2 ways. They weren't going to get pinned. You weren't going to pin Jade and you weren't going to pin Bianca. That was the only way that you could do that. And again, not saying they won't get the titles back, but I think that was the only chance for the hometown to get a big, applause for the championship.
I understand that. I just feel that Alba Fire and Isla Dawn didn't do enough to earn those tag team belts. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but see, you go by the WWE stuff, like you got to look back to what they did in WWE when UK in NXT UK.
No,
then they
I
went
get
to
it.
NXT, and then they've been in the independents for like 14 years. Think about it. Drew McIntyre, when he left WWE the first time, went back over there to ICW or IW. I think it's ICW is what they call it, and brought wrestling brought the Scottish wrestling scene up, the wrestling scene in Scotland up. They were a part of that. Piper Niven was a part of that. Like, this was their night of bringing it back. And then Drew wasn't going to win it. Piper wasn't going to win it. So in a way, it was kind of like, here's your, here's the titles, man. Because again, I get it. If you watch what they've done on the main roster, yeah, you could probably say, no, they haven't done enough. But if you know everything else that they've been through and winning it there at that arena, because that's the same arena that they had their first big shows on. Piper Niven was the champion at the time for ICW. Like that, if you look back at all of that, I mean, it's a good story, man.
So who you got? You got them fighting now against Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. Is that the next opponent for them?
No, I don't think so, man.
Because they were talking about it. They were like mentioning.
Yeah, no, but they also said we're going to get to you after Money in the Bank. So I think they're going to be a part of the Money in the Bank matches coming up. But again, I don't know what you do. This is the thing, and this might be the actual question more than did they get it right? What do you do with Bianca and Jade now?
I told you, got to split them. Split them.
I mean, the only thing you can do is try to get them a match back, and then do they win the titles back? Or do you do, like you say, the split? Because that's ultimately, we know where it's going. It's just how are we going to get there? We know the iceberg is in front of us. How quickly we running up on the iceberg?
Let Jay go, baby. Let her go. Let her fly, my friend. Let her fly. Let her blossom, because she will be the next champion, sir. So let her blossom.
I do not doubt that at all. And then now, also, another thing that we talked about before was, WWE doesn't have Seth. WWE doesn't have CM Punk. WWE doesn't have Rhea. WWE doesn't have Charlotte. WWE doesn't. They're starting to get all of them back.
And then they bring out the Wyatt Sicks.
The Wyatt Sicks, and then
all of a sudden we're gonna get Roman back. And Jesus Christ, everybody in that AEW world who likes to not tune into WWE is gonna have to tune into WWE because she's just so good right now.
Like, I don't know, man, dude. And here's the thing, too, man, is what's funny is I've been watching Collision and Rampage a little bit more. This week I didn't necessarily watch all of it, although I did switch into it once the game got away. But they use Collision now instead of like a second show as a show to set up Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is to set up for what's going to happen on Dynamite. And I don't know if that's a good recipe, man.
I remember that was their 1-year anniversary too.
Yeah, and I didn't look, man. And Buddy Murphy kneecap or whatever, he's done. So it's gonna be interesting. I am interested. I'm not gonna lie. The Patriarch against the Bang Bang Gang. I'm interested in that.
I think that's the only storyline that's going for them. That's it. That's the only one, because even you're building up MJF versus Roosh, and it's gonna be on Dynamite.
Well, not only that, it's on Dynamite commercial free.
Yeah, it's the first fight for the first hour. Come on, man! Like, you're building that up.
But also, like, how long is that match gonna go? Like, to me, MJF against Roosh should not last that long.
No, but you saw that. I mean,
there's some back and forth. No, you should have some back and forth and things like that. But again, if MJF is coming in and saying, I'm the wolf of wrestling or the lone wolf of wrestling and things like that, and he's already been a world champion, it's kind of like what I was saying about Braun Breaker with Ricochet and Ilya Dragunov. Like, you're trying to build him up to be this big bad wolf, and he's having trouble against the three little pigs.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, an injured Ricochet took him to the limit. So you're telling me if a healthy Ricochet, he beats him? Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's the things that, like, to me, like, you want me to start buying MJF, and I get it. Yes, he's got to take some punishment. I get that. Nobody's there, but, like, to me, I don't look at Roosh and say he's in MJF's league in AEW.
No.
That's all I'm saying. Like, so for me to say, oh, this is going to go, like, you go to commercial at like 12 or 15. You're telling me that match is going to be 20 minutes long?
And I'm going to tell you something. That's the only match I'm probably going to tune into. And then after that, I'm not going to, like, if I was like a casual wrestling fan, I probably would not watch the show anymore. Somebody in the chat, I think it was No Doubt, or somebody said it in the chat that this was the first time they actually saw Raw all 3 hours.
Yeah.
That's
what you don't get. Since I've done it, not gonna lie.
You don't get that with AEW. You only there's a lot of people who
and it's only 2 hours.
Yeah, and it's only 2 hours. Imagine if they went 3. I mean, although I did like when they were doing the 3 hour thing, I thought that was kind of smart.
Yeah, I wish they would go back to it a little bit more. And then also the interesting thing that but again, they kind of lost me when they did the Anarchy in the Arena match. They're going back to this Elite versus AEW.
Yeah.
The blood. What is it? Oh, Jesus.
Blood and Guts?
Blood and Guts. Yeah, they're going to do that again. But, like, and then it came out after Swerve. So my question, and this is, do you know what I think is going to happen? Now that, you know what? This just crossed my mind. But see, I don't know if Tony Khan's got the balls to do this, because it's going to piss off a lot of people. What if you do the Swerve Will Ospreay match at this pay-per-view, which is Forbidden Door on the 30th? What if the Elite ruins it?
Ruin it. That's the only thing that's going for them right now.
No, I'm saying, but the Elite ruins it, and now Team AEW is Swerve, Will Ospreay, and now you got to grab 2 more guys, which, you know, MJF, or however you want to do it, to make an actual real Team AEW, not let me throw 4 guys together and bring Darby in and take Kingston out and everything else. Like, make it goddamn AEW, bro.
Yeah.
To me, that would be Will, Swerve. I mean, depending on how they do this MJF, because he said he's the lone wolf of wrestling, so I don't know how that's going to work out if you do that. But that's 3 guys, and now you got to come up with a 4th. And what is Kenny Omega? Where's he at? Does he come in as the 4th member?
And Adam Page is supposed to be coming.
Adam Page is coming back. So now, you know, maybe you keep MJF out and you throw Adam Page in there. But Adam Page teaming up with Swerve? You see what I'm saying? Like, there's going to be some animosity on Team AEW. But that's what you need to do. You need to have the real faces of AEW representing you, not
Let me just throw this.
I like FTR as a tag team, but to me, it's like FTR, Darby, and Bryan Danielson. Like, if anything, throw the Blackpool Combat Club in to represent AEW. At least to me, they're a team.
Let me ask you something.
Pull a guy here and you pull a guy there, and it's like, that's AEW? Like, come on.
Do you like Christopher Daniels being this whole interim type of?
It's somebody. At least it's somebody that can talk, because Tony's not going to come out and be that guy. Like, I wish Tony would be. I wish that was Tony coming out and being that. But he can't. He can't do that. I mean, obviously he can't do that. Or I mean, like, to me, even for the show, like, if he just came out and he'd be like, Bucks, shut the hell up. This is what we're going to do. I run AEW. Like, anything like stern like that would be perfect.
Karun says, I think Khan should take his dad's keys, enter the office, take some money off of Trevor Lawrence's contract, and start pouching WWE
time. Here's the thing too, and everybody, like, look, man.
Talk to me about that Ricochet. Is he finally gonna make his way to AEW?
Well, I think he may, but at the same time, is it the right decision? I'm just saying.
Well, I know we gotta end the show in a minute, but
yeah, we're good right now.
We got two things. So obviously Chad Gable resigned, and then you also have Ricochet being let go. A lot of people, there were some people talking about that Chad Gable made a mistake by staying in WWE, and somebody even compared him to Pac in AEW.
Yes, yeah, I saw that. And again, and I think that's Meltzer too that did that. I believe it was, or one of those guys on Wrestling Observer Radio. I'm not going to say Chad Gable maybe didn't. But again, it's better to dance with the devil you know than the one you don't.
100 facts.
Because here's the thing. Like he said, the reason I signed is because Triple H, when he took over, told me things were going to do this, this, and this, and he's done them.
Yep. 100%.
That's all the guys and gals want. Like, you tell me what you're going to do, and you do it.
Keep them relevant.
You can tell me, look, you're going to lose every match in the month of July, August, and September. But come October, you're going to turn around and you're going to make a run for the title at Royal Rumble. If they they're going to be okay with it.
Or not only that, you keep them relevant. Even like he mentioned it, he was like, "Yo, you get a minute promo here or there." Yeah. He's fine with that because nobody's forgetting about you. That's one thing that happens in AEW.
It's about, and that's the problem that I see with AEW is like, and it's not a problem. It's just they have to figure out a way to coordinate their TV to where everybody gets something. Because the problem is this: if you book Mercedes Moné against one of the CMLL girls, and the match goes 20 minutes.
That was what was her name? Zeus's.
Yeah, so that goes 20 minutes. You've got Swerve and Ospreay. That one went 30 minutes with the whole interaction with Swerve and everything is what I'm saying.
And you also had Ospreay with Rey Fenix. Yeah, right.
That whole match and then with the interaction with Swerve was 30 minutes. That's almost 1 hour of your show. And now you're trying to get in. You haven't even got, they've got to get, that's where I was saying, like, those matches they do on Rampage with Tony Storm and things like that, they might want to do a couple of those on Dynamite just to figure out the spacing. Because again, WWE has got it down to kind of, because they've had 3 hours forever. So they give everybody 1 or 2 segments. But what they do is they introduce you at the end of the one segment. They go to break. Then they come back. So you have a full segment to wrestle. Then the match ends during the second segment. They do another promo or something. Then the next match is coming to the ring so that it's spaced out to where you're not doing picture in picture every match.
I hate that crap.
Break. Like,
yeah, it's like learn how to use your commercials like WWE does. You don't have to do that picture-in-picture crap.
It sucks sometimes for the people in attendance live because when that red light cuts off, when you're there live, it might be a rest hold for about a minute and a half so everybody can get their wind back to where when the red light comes back on, it starts flying again. But that's needed. That's the thing I think they need to figure out is the correct timing of everything. That's why I was saying to me, MJF against Roosh doesn't need 20 minutes.
No.
Give him 10 minutes, have Roosh miss something, MJF take advantage, show that he's still the cocky ass guy that he is, beat him, and you're good. And then also, like, after you do that pull apart last week, this match should start with MJF hitting the ring and start fighting.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that just makes me so mad. And I understand because of Cody's entrance at Clash of the Castle. I get Cody's entrance. The crowd goes crazy. The whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, but you're telling me you waited for him in the parking lot of SmackDown, and then now you're just going to walk to the ring and get in the ring and stand there and Cody Rhodes. All right, yeah.
Why are you calling Cody Rhodes Cody Rhodes? They didn't even get his name right at Clash of the Castle.
Oh my God, really? Here we go. You're going to be that guy. Okay.
They didn't get the name right. What kind of a
They announced his name correctly. They didn't have it on the plate correctly.
Jesus,
he was the women's tag team champions talent name.
Can you honestly say that this is the most blunders you've seen from WWE? This typically doesn't happen on their end.
Yeah, but also it goes to they might not have had their normal crew. They might have had an international crew over there.
Oh,
they might have had
the
something else there.
How dare you blame the international crew?
No, I'm saying I don't know what all the thing. I know working that board is a pain in the ass when you have 1,000 buttons and you set up presets, and then if somebody hits the dial on the one, it's on the wrong one, and you hit it, it's going to send off the wrong one. I've done that many times.
Crazy, man.
Because all it takes is somebody to hit it's like a shift button, and it lights up the keys on the board. There's like 1,000 buttons. You have to make sure the right ones are pushed, because when you send it, it's going to send whatever's lit up, and that's what goes out. And that again, it takes a lot of work, man, and a lot of attention to detail. And somebody wasn't as attention to detail as they needed to be on that situation there. But to get back to what I was saying was, to me, the way that match should have started was Cody running to the ring and just fighting.
I mean, it was an I quit match, right?
Yeah, but it didn't because of, and I get it, the Cody Rhodes entrance, everybody's singing his song and everything else. You can't do it because then you don't give the audience what they want. But that, to me, that's how the MJF Roosh, if it doesn't start in the back. Could you not? Boom, they start the show and it's MJF and Roosh fighting down to the ring. Like, why not? Why not do that? They're fighting the last time we saw them, they're fighting. So just let them keep fighting, man. Throw it out there a little bit. Do something a little bit different, and then you come into the match hot.
Yeah, you could say that, I guess. I mean, at the end of the day, I wasn't too focused about the match. I was more focused on the blunders.
Of course you were. That's what everybody does. That's what we got to do. We got to be negative. Let's stay negative.
Just try to get you mad.
I haven't harped on you being late to the show over and over and over again. I didn't take pictures of you sleeping and post them to social media that you're 15 minutes late to the show.
That's a blunder.
Over and over and over again.
You got to call me out on it, sir. That's why I like it. Calling me out.
I mean, you can't even. I mean, look at your nameplate, Frankie Fresco. Follow at Fresco Music.
Oh, you're criticizing me?
I am.
My name?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then you know what? Let me do this. Hold on a second. King, you could continue talking.
No. Let's watch this blunder happen on air.
What blunder on there? I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Somebody tell Jack to hit the drum harder.
Oh, wow. Wow.
What's happening here?
I don't know. There you go. There's my
talent name. There you go. Perfect. Good job. You hit the save button that time.
That's who I am right there.
All right, my man. Let them know how they can reach you, man. Anything else? Do we not hit on anything else?
I think we got everything, brother. I mean, I had written.
Also, don't forget tonight on NXT, 25-man battle royal, all locker rooms. No telling who might show up. So if you get a chance, tune into that. Don't forget also the Stanley Cup for anybody in South Florida. Your Florida Panthers going to take it home tonight. Yeah, buddy.
There it is. That way you guys don't think it's a Florida Gator hat. It's an actual Florida. I mean, it would be a Florida Gator hat too, but it's a Florida Panther hat. So go Panthers. I'll be tuning in. Guys, you can follow me at Talent Name on all social medias, X, on Facebook, on everything. So my name, Talent Name. You can find me in all social media platforms. And let me talk to you. 8 p.m. tomorrow. We'll be talking NXT. We'll see how this works with NXT. That's another storyline, which is insane. The fact that we can now have a mixture of TNA and other companies
And
work
also,
with
Tatum
NXT.
actually showed up at the TNA pay-per-view and answered the challenge of Jordan Grace, which I said was going to probably be they set up pretty good at the actual TNA pay-per-view. The NXT pay-per-view.
So if you don't if you don't get enough of wrestling when it comes to the WWE Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, I'm telling you, tune into NXT. It's actually really freaking good. So we're gonna
also real quick, I'm sorry, AJ Styles and Io Sky are set to be on Marigold card that is in Japan on July, I believe it's 12th, and also I think Shinsuke is going to be there as well, but it hasn't been announced yet. So a lot going on with WWE right now.
I mean, the only thing I could think that might save AEW is if they bring Shane O'Mac, baby. Bring Shane O'Mac to AEW.
Oh God, are we doing this really? We're doing it.
I didn't do it. Jim Ross said it.
Make sure you check out the Fresco Boys Tuesday. Let me talk to you. Wednesday.
You mean Wednesday? Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Let me talk to you. 8 p.m. We're gonna talk Dolphins, talk Panthers. As a matter of fact, guys, if the Panthers do win, please let everybody know that I will be driving my way to Sean's house to pick him up. So Big O, you're gonna have to run the production on your own because I'm picking up Sean and we're hitting some pots and pans all over South Florida. And we'll make our way to Sunrise. That's how we're gonna travel.
Less than Sunrise.
We're going. We'll take the Palmetto, and then we hit I-75, and then we're up there. We're hitting Sunrise, baby. Let's do it.
There it is. You can check me out at Sean_Stanley on X, IG, Threads, and TikTok. And of course, Stanley Media House Network on YouTube. I'm going to try to get better at getting more content out there. I was trying to strive for perfection. Now I'm just going to be consistent. Maybe this will work better.
One big information. Sean, I will not be next week on the show. Unfortunately, I will be in Houston. I will be supporting my country, Colombia, who's playing Paraguay in Houston in the Copa America. So
Vamos Colombia.
I will be in Houston. I mean, I might chime in. I mean, the game is on Mondays, but Tuesday I'm flying back, so I don't know if I'll make it on time because I might be on the flight. But if anything,
don't worry about it, man. We'll just say you overslept.
Send me the link, and if I'm able to go ahead and get on, I'll get on, even from the plane, and you'll probably see my brother. So I'll pull a
Manny Navarro on me.
Manny Navarro. I'll do it. I'm not to that level, sir. I'm not no Manny Navarro.
Yeah, you are, buddy. Yeah, you are.
Manny Navarro is way, way above my pay grade.
No. You're the next Manny Navarro. You're Frankie Fresco. Your talent name, baby.
But I'll see if I can make the show next week. But if not, then you know why I'm over there. So hopefully,
Vamos Colombia.
We'll see if Colombia
I want to thank No Doubt, Karoon, Cap for Life, Steven Gonzalez was in there, EA Minutes was in there, Corn Iowa Productions, Bounce DJ.
Oh, the homie guy.
Sorry. My dad was in there. Who else we got? Everybody, Terry was in there. I said No Doubt already.
Cat for Life. Glad to see you here, sir.
Josh. Good to see you. Good to see you, Cat for Life.
I missed you, Cat for Life. I missed you, Cat for Life. I don't know what they did to you, man. I'm gonna start a.
Nobody knows.
I'm gonna start a GoFundMe. Bring Cat for Life back, baby. No banning. I
always appreciate my dad tuning in, and for everybody out there, Square Circle Digest. In the words of the great Gordon Sully, so long from the sun, shine, state.